All right. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Good? Awesome. We are officially, camera is officially on. And I'm just going to pull up the chat in a separate screen real quick. Yeah. How y'all doing tonight? Having a good time? And yes, it is stray music. Alrighty then. It is going to be great, yeah. So yeah, we're going to give it about, spend too much time playing Battlefront 2 and I'm so tired. Well, don't worry, because this fanfic is going to wake you up. I think in the first paragraph, it's going to, really, really, get you going. Yeah. Can't wait for my IQ to drop to room temperature. Yep. I prefer Blue Moon beers, but nice choice. Yeah, well, I'm a bourbon guy, so you need something a little strong, I think, in order to get through this fanfic. Random question, Nick. What's the worst thing you've ever read for the channel? I'd say by default it's got to be Empress Teresa. That book is just complete dog shit in every respect, and of course the author behind it is also complete dog shit in every respect. However, there might be something worse coming up, so we'll see about that. Something coming up in the next month or so. Hannah claims her Moon Daughter story is really good. Of course she does. Assuming Hannah is, of course, a real person. I know I've definitely seen the comments saying that Moon Daughter is definitely a troll fic. And to be honest with y'all, like, I kind of agree. Like, I think I'm like over 50% certain it's a troll fic, but you know what? It's fun to pretend like it's serious because that just makes it more enjoyable. Like it'd be really boring to just say like, oh, this whole thing was just a joke, you know, author's so funny, blah blah blah. I mean, there is a small chance it's serious and someone actually wrote it thinking that they were actually doing something, and that's what I choose to believe because that's funnier. Isn't there actually a Moon Daughter 2? Yes. As you can see, there is a Moon Daughter 2 right here. Rise of a Goddess. Oh boy. God. Do you think Moon Daughter is AI generated? No. This was way before, AI generated text became as popular and as good as it is now. So there's no way in hell. Also, like, you have to really, I think in order to make AI text like write in the way that Moon Daughter's written, you really have to like bully it into doing what you want, because AI will always revert back to its old tropes, its old schemes, you know. If it is a shitpost, I can't help but commend the commitment. Yeah, exactly, and that's one of the points against it being a shitpost, because sorry, there's a fruit fly in my face. That's one of the points against it being a shit post, because there's 72 chapters of the original, and then for Moon Daughter 2 there's 35. So like, you know, there is such a, there's such a commitment to the bit if that's the case. I was thinking the same thing of trying AI to copy Moon Daughter. Yeah, and good luck with that, because as I said before, AI will just eventually revert back to trying to tell something dignified, or at least what it thinks is dignified, because AI is kind of stupid like that. Hannah is automatically better than Billy Cool. Hannah's definitely more passionate and dedicated than Billy Cool. I'll give her that. Oh, speaking of which, I saw this before. I didn't look at it though. This is to link to Flavia's outfit in chapter 33. I wonder if this link still works, actually. Nah, we'll never get to see Flavia's outfit. Shoot. Okay. That's really depressing. Oh well. Alright. So yeah, for people just joining, we are giving it until about another 5-10 minutes or so just to wait for people to trickle in. I'm glad you all joined me today. Yeah, exactly, right? We got a broken web page instead of Flavia's outfit. The first sentence of Moondaughter 2 has me worried. Who the hell is Flavia marrying? I think she marries, See, there's... You're gonna get this a lot when I read this. There's like a lot of things I just did not talk about in the video for the sake of like pacing and time, and one of them is like this insane wedding at the end where everyone gets married to everyone else. Something stupid. I wanted to see to outfit. Agreed. I found you yesterday and binged like a dozen of your videos. Well, welcome. You joined just in time to see me go live and see what misery I inflict upon you this time. Welcome. Welcome to the... I don't think I'm popular enough to have a name for my viewers yet. Pressies? Yeah. I can think of something better. Ugh. Alrighty then. We got 24 people in. That's pretty good. I think the last time when we streamed Billy Cool's AI music, we think we peaked at about 70 something. Yeah. Bob the Dragon says hi. Hello. Good to see you. Staple Donite Carlsonites. Masochists. Masochist is very apt. Carlsonites sounds like a weird mineral. Not so sure. Watching the shorter video that came out first and the part about the power of literal hate pregnancy, exactly what I want. You know what? No, you're right. Exactly. Pure hatred is what got Matt pregnant with Springtrap in that one FNAF story. Ridiculous. Call the fandom NCPs. Meh. We'll see. Forgot how funny might be through the Empress Teresa book. Yeah. Good book recommendation, The Riverman by Aaron Starmer. Interesting idea, told incredibly well, and there's no coverage on YouTube. Not your niche, but you need someone to cover it. Yeah, and honest to God, like, I really would review more, like, good books, but unfortunately, it's a lot more, it just means a lot more engagement to make fun of bad books, you know? So, I mean, I would. Like, I've reviewed good books in the past on this channel before. The Troop, The Long Walk, North American Lake Monsters. Those are 3 prime examples. But I don't think any of those have even crossed 1,000 views yet. So, I mean, right now you got to ride the wave, you know. That's why I look at shitty Percy Jackson fanfic instead of, you know, reviewing good books, which is what I really want to be doing. I would love to review good books, but the evil of the algorithm strikes again. You said it, buddy. Grinkle Gronkle. You said it. Alright, we're going to start in about 3 minutes. They're doing a long walk movie. Yeah, I saw the trailers for that. I mean, it's a simple premise. I think they're going to do a good job with it. So, I'm excited. I read the book. Obviously, like I reviewed it on my channel about a year ago. I thought it was really well done. Like a really stupid, simple concept that was stretched out to like a professional degree. I'm not a book guy, but your way of reviewing and summarizing them is just amazing. Oh, thank you, Freeford. Appreciate it. That's what I try and do. I like whenever I go into these things, I always try and make them like understandable to everyone. Like if someone hasn't heard of FNAF or Outlast or anything like that, or Hello Neighbor, when I reviewed those books, I mean, I always try and do them in a way where anyone can know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate the compliments. I stopped reading for ages because college had me so burnt out. I didn't start reading again until last year because of Star Wars novels. What's your opinion on Clive Barker's young adult fantasy stuff, Abarat? Haven't gotten to that yet. There's like people send recommendations to me all the time, and I always take them seriously. But you know, we all have our own diverse backgrounds. We all have our own things we've read, things we haven't read, and that's just one of those things I haven't read. So I'm always appreciate recommendations, though, always, and I'll never not take them seriously. Familiar with Crimson? Is it Crimson Rouge or Crimson Rogue? I can't remember what the last word is. Yeah, I saw him. I know he got popular from his own Empress Teresa review. He actually commented on my Empress Teresa video, which was a huge honor. That made me really happy to see that. Okay, so we've got 30 people in the chat now. I say we give it another 3 minutes, and then we'll start formally. We'll start the festivities formally. The live reading of Moondaughter. Another 3 minutes. Bold of you to assume that I haven't read every single FNAF book myself. Wow. Have you even read the graphic novels? Because I know they're out there. I looked at one. The art style was really garbage, so I was just like, ugh. Apparently it was rushed, though, so I can't, entirely blame the artist, but still. Thought of reading old pony fics for the channel. I could make a living just reviewing like bad fanfics for the rest of my life. I'm sure they'll get views. Like someone in the comments section mentioned that there was like a Sonic High School fanfiction. I read the first chapter and I was like, maybe I better check this out because it looks stupid as hell. Are you going to do the voices as you read? I think I'll do like inflections and emotions, but I can't think of voices on the fly, unfortunately. I have a few good impressions, but I think I'll just read dramatically and put the appropriate emotions in there. Yes, there are graphic novels. They look really cheap. That's just my opinion, though. Hello, Nick in chat. Hello, Meguchi. Warning about Sonic High School turns into... Yeah, I got that impression. I read the first chapter, and the teacher read Sonic's journal out loud. Something about his itchy balls. Highly recommend reviewing the Transformers novels. Some of them are pretty garbage. Yeah, that's one of those things. Like, I saw, like, one movie back in, like, 2009 or something like that. I haven't checked out Transformers since. Like, I know it's a toy line. I know there's, like, cartoons. I know there's, like, comic books, probably. I know there's, like, 6 or 7 movies. I want you to read this as if you were a Shakespeare actor. Be really dramatic. I mean, I'm not going to blow through it. I'm not going to, like, treat it like... I'm not going to, like, not take it seriously. I mean, I'll try and make it sound like a legitimate read. Would you consider reviewing Hearts of Iron 4-based fanfics? I mean, haven't heard of that, but again, always appreciate suggestions. Like, I think the Sonic High School one might be coming up in the near future. Yeah. Okay. So, we have 37 people in the chat. We're probably going to get more as the minutes go on. So, right now, we're just going to start the festivities. Folks, welcome for joining me in our dramatic reading of Moondaughter. I'm certain most of you, if not all of you, have already watched the video of me reviewing Moondaughter, the fanfic by xxMoonlitexx. You're here to listen to a dramatic reading. Now, as I have said multiple times before, it is highly unlikely we will get through all 72 chapters in one night, because I, unfortunately, have a job, and I do have to wake up early for that job, so I don't want to spend here all night reading some 14-year-old girl's idea of profound. So, we'll see where we're at around 9:30. That's in about 90 minutes. In the meantime, I guess we'll just begin. There's no better time to start than now. This story needs no introduction. Here it is. We are starting now officially the dramatic reading of Moondaughter by xxMoonlitexx. aka Hannah. Let's go. Chapter 1, Where I Get Claimed. My gray eyes saturated back at me from the fountain, sad like the end of a summer storm. Luke was dead. Percy Jackson killed him last year in Olympus. I groaned as I sat up in bed. I had a dream last night where I was claimed. I didn't know my parents ever. I was an orphan on the streets of NYC City until a family on a farm took me in. But soon I was bullied by their daughter Brittany, with 4 different coach purses and bitchy blonde hair. She called me a freak because I had sliver eyes, black hair I cut to my sleeve so it was uneven, and wore the same leather jacket every day. One day I had enough, so I ran away, only to find my way to Kronos' army, and Luke. I was a dame god! Jesus Christ, this spelling. I knew I claimed today, because demigod dreams are like that. We're not like normal people. I smiled to myself because I hated cabin number 11. The other demigods were mean and bullied me because I wasn't claimed. Also, they always talked about how evil monsters were. But Luke and I knew better because the monsters in the army weren't evil. They were actually misjudged because they worked for Kronos but many had good hearts. A Drachima saved my life once from an evil rapist when I was in the streets. Hey, Flavia, you talking to your monster friends? Laughed Annabeth, Percy's slutty girlfriend. She is blonde and a bitch, and from Athena, who are all like that. She used to have a crush on Luke, but she never stood a chance. Luke told me himself the only one love was me. Before he died. What? My eyes blazed wrathfully. I knew she meant my BFF Ivy the Dryad. Ivy was bullied by the other dame gods because she is a Dryad, and they hate Dryads because they are monsters. F off! My godparent is powerful to defend Ivy. She has no friends. Annabeth sneered. You have no godparent. You're not claimed, and nobody will claim you ever. She put the headphones back on, listening to One Direction like a slut. I could feel a tear went down my face as Annabeth went away. Ivy came out from behind cabin 11, and I could see she was crying. You heard her? I said. Ivy was crying chlorophyll, which looked like normal crying but green, because she was a dryad, because dryads are from trees which have chlorophyll. Oh, Flavia, it's not fair. You will be claimed, I know it. She hugged me, and I felt better. I wiped the tears off my face and looked in the fountain where we were sitting, by cabin 11. Now my jet black hair with a wave at the back of the neck has a white streak that was from depression when Brittany bullied me, but I think it looks nice, so I kept it. I have silver gray eyes, which is why Luke called me Moonlight. I wiped away another tear when I thought this. It hurt so much to think of him killed after we've been through together. But the moon reminded me, what if I am a daughter of the moon goddess, Artemis? Ivy shook her head. Artemis is a virgin. That means she can't have kids, like, ever. Artemis is my fave goddess. She looks kind of like me, but her hair is ginger, and she has a silver bow and arrows. I saw her once with all these girls that follow her and also have silver bows and arrows. But that's not the same as being her daughter, which, in my heart, I wished I was. But wishes don't come true. I knew young this world was not a fairy tale field. Jesus fucking Christ. Lies and danger are like dark clouds above us, especially if you're a demigod like I was. We walked over by some demigods practicing with swords and axes and mace. What? And I took out my bow and made a prefect bullseye in the target. Annabeth flipped me off because she is jealous. I'm the only dame god in camp who uses a bow and arrows. Annabeth! Yelled the centaur stood nearby. He is Creon, the leader of Camp Half-Blood. A centaur half-horse and half-man. He is 17. Look, I know he was old in the book, but this is my story, so don't flame. And his long dark hair wiped in the wind above his chest. He looked sad because Kronos was his father before he was killed into Tartarus, and Chiron was all depressed about it, and he spent all his time in the big house by himself. Only now he come out looking wrathful. Afti and I en a trantagama, yelled Annabeth, except in Greek because she wants to look smarter. But it was a lie. I wasn't a jerk. She was. Why are you always causing trouble when we practice, Annabeth? Chiron said with his mighty center eyes flashing. You are jealous, and because Percy is your boyfriend, is your BF, you think we will let you do whatever you want. Is that it? But Ivy gasped and pointed at my head. Look, Chiron! Look, Creon! Suddenly, everyone looked at me, even Annabeth, and they all kneeled. I raised my hand to flip them off, but then I looked up and saw, shining like a thousand moonbeams, a silver stag on my head, also silver hounds and a bow and arrows, and a thin curvy moon which was silver. It was so beautiful I cried, also because I knew what it meant. I was claimed by Artemis. I stood in awe as the other demigods covered up their eyes because it was too bright. This cannot be, said Chiron. Artemis is a virgin. Well, now she is not, said Ivy. And that's how you retcon, 3,000 years of Greek mythology. You just say, well, now she is not. Yeah, that was only chapter 1, by the way. Stupid. Chapter 2. Exiled. Right away, Chiron took me to the big house. We must speak, he said. Wait here. I sat in a chair by a table. It was cold inside the big house, come prayed to outside. I could see leopard heads on the wall, which made me angry because I love leopards. They are my fave animal. Also tigers, otters, and snow leopards. I heard a noise from the other room, so I went there quiet as a leopard, and I could see Grover, a satyr. He speak to himself in a low, clear voice. The demigods hate me. They think I don't notice, but I heard one of them call me a monster, and monsters must die. There was something in his hands. He was moving slowly at himself. The light from the window glinted it, shiny golden cup with ruby on the sides. I knew it was satyr poison. No, stop, I said. Don't listen to Annabeth. She is racist. But it was too late. He was dead. And Chiron was there. Flavia Knight, what have you done to this satyr? Tell me the truth, and you will suffer. Tell me the truth, and you will suffer. My heart sank deeply. I knew what I thought. I knew what he thought. I killed Grover. Chiron raised his voice. I knew this would happen if Artemis had a child. Didn't you read the prophecy, you bastard? What prophecy? The one the oracle said. A daughter of Artemis will be a scourge to our camp. A poisoned snake with Artemis's mark. She is stamped. Jesus Christ. Poetry. It is a mystery, but now I know it means you must leave Camp Half-Blood before more people die. Don't exile me. I'm innocent, I yelled. Camp Half-Blood was my home. It stung in my heart to think I'd never see it again. My gray eyes flashed. You can't do this. Artemis Mark, he pointed. It is your eyes. What, are they too beautiful for you? I yelled because I was angry now. He was so hot, but so stupid too. I will seek out Artemis and the hunters. Your camp is racist anyway. I stalked from the room with my bow and arrow to pack. The other demigod sneered as I trudged back to cabin 11, as I trugged back to cabin 11. Annabeth, who got transferred to the goddess love cabin now. I know her name is Aphrodite, but there's no way in hell I'm spelling that. Led them all to chase me away. Only Ivy stood for me. I packed my bow and arrows and my iPod. iPods work in camp here. This is my story, okay? And 2 pairs of gray skinny jeans and 1 pair of black skinny jeans with gray around the edges and a white and silver jacket. and a leather belt for my hunting knife. I put on only a little eyeshadow and eyeliner because I'm not a slut. Then I put on my boots and went to see Ivy goodbye. But you need 3 for a quest, said Ivy. It's the law. Yeah, like 3 people like me. They're all bitches and sluts here anyway. I laughed. But then I stopped laughing. A shadow figure stepped from the shadows. I will go quest with Flavia. I gasped. Nico da Angelo. Nico was 17 and pale as the dead. He had black hair down to his shoulders and abs like chiseled smoke. I could see them because his jacket was ripped in front from a monster claws. He was wearing black skinny jeans and a necklace with a silver skull skeleton. My color. But I was sad because he reminded me of Luke. WTF, Nico? This is my quest. I took out my hunting dagger Agamemnon and pointed at him. Nico laughed and said, I know something about Percy Jackson you don't. I hate Percy. He sucks 'cause he killed Luke. I gritted my teeth. Yeah, well, I saw him kissing your little green friend. My heart stopped in my mouth. OMG, he is cheating on Annabeth, and she deserves it. But then I remembered. Ivy was cheating with my Emily. Tears sprung from my eyes, making my eyeshadow all streak on my face. Ivy, you whore, you betrayed me. It's not like that, Ivy began to cry. Anyway, he said he hated Annabeth. Also, he said he wished he didn't kill Luke, but he had no choice. I have no choice either, I growled like a leopard of Artemis as I drew Agamemnon. You don't know the meaning of loyalty. Say hi to Hades for me, bitch. I threw the knife, embedding it in her tree. With a noisy scream, Ivy shriveled away to green dust, blown away on the wind. She was a false friend. My heart broke, and I knew that day as I claimed the chlorophyll from my blade, I was born to be a killer. I could see the impressment in Nico's soulful eyes. You handle that well, Flavia. Oh, excuse me. You handle that well, Flava. But now I need another for the quest. Shut up, Stutle, I yelled in Greek because the trees were rustling and I could see green light flashing by them. I got Agamemnon ready to attack. Nico got out his Stygian iron sword, which glowed darkly, and he got ready to standing with his back facing my back. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. So the enemy couldn't attack us in the back. Jesus Christ. I thought, what if it was a monster coming? Maybe one I fought with when I was with Luke. But I remembered when I killed Ivy, I steeled my teeth. What? A daughter of Artmaeus couldn't shrink from the kill. I was a huntress, and I knew what that meant. The bushes parted, and a shape stood there with the glow from Nico's sword shining on his face so we could see him. Who are you? Why did you sneak up on us, you bastard? Growled Nico. The guy who came gargled at Nico. What? And I could see under his dark eyebrows he had mysterious eyes that were of magic. Stop, I said Nico. He is a son of Hecate. Is it Hecate or Hecate? I know these Greek words sometimes pronounce the T at the end like Hecate. Hecate or Hecate? Someone tell me. The guy blinked because he was surprised. How did you know? Hecate evil. She sided with Kronos, yelled Nico. I almost dropped Agamemnon from my hand in shock. I couldn't believe Nevo talked this way. I sided with Kronos. It's only because Luke's dead I came to your stupid camp. The stranger looked at me hotly. I knew he agreed. But now Kronos is dead anyway, so why does it matter? The Hecate, I don't fucking care. Hecate guy had brown hair and a ponytail, and he had no shirt, and he had green magic runes on his ripped up pants, which were black like his boots. What's your name? I asked shyly. Al Blaster Torrington, he said. I'm 16. I saw he had a locket with a magic sign like a triangle, and it was silver. Nico and Alabaster glared at each other, but I stepped in the middle and said, Look, guys. Hecate, thank you, I thought so. Look, guys, now we have 3 for our quest if Albaster stays. I knew he would stay because I could tell he was in love with me. I could tell from the way he looked at me. I also knew Nico was jealous, which made me sad. But I couldn't love them. I remembered of Luke too much. Where are we quest? Asked Albaster. Nico explained. She is looking for Artemis, magic idiot witch boy. I know where Artemis is. Hecate visits her all the time. Albaster brightened up. They do rituals for the moon at midnight. Are you kidding? I said. Show me where right now. Just then, a lot of hellhounds and knee-mane lions sprung from the bushes with a monitor. Oh, good lord. Run, Flavia, yelled Nico, but I took my bow and arrow and shot an arrow right in the monitor's eye when he exploded in dust, leaving only his horns. Alblaster did magic, and a hellhound was killed with green flashes. A Nemean loin cut at Nico and his shirt splitting in half. But he took the iron sword and stabbed it. We killed the rest of the monsters and soon they were all dust. Wow. You're a good fighter, Nico said to Albaster, even though he hated him. I'll make a fire for the night, I said, and I took Agamemnon to cut up some wood. But Albaster made a magic fire that was real, except it was pale green and glowed in the dark like a bacon. We sat down next to it, and Nico looked really hot with the pale glow on his face. I kind of wanted to make out with him, but he fell asleep, and I did too. But Albaster stayed up so he could stand guard in case more monsters came. I slept all night with love in my heart, except I didn't know who. And who was Albaster? Evil? I don't even know anymore. This thing sucks. I already hate it. Anyway, Chapter 3. Chapter 3. I must chose. God. When I woke up, Albaster was doing magic that made breakfast. He ate it. He and Nico ate it, but I wasn't hungry, so I didn't. Instead, I shot a deer dead that was standing there because I had to practice being a huntress. Then I went behind a tree and put on my skinny black jeans, a black t-shirt with silver stripes like a tiger's. My jacket, the zipar, was silver, and also a little eyeliner. Then I said to Nico, "Hey, are you going to take all day or what? We need to find Artemis." He looked at me. I could tell he thought I was hot because he saw me shoot the deer with a perfect bull's at tea. So I took out my bow flirtly and shoot a squirrel. We ate the squirrel and the deer in the fire. Albaster was jealous in his eyes. I took my iPod and we listened to some and I danced, but my eyes glowed silver because I was from Artemis. Then suddenly I stopped. I looked right in Nico's eyes, were dark as night skies, and he looked in mine and I felt my heart melted. Then he took out his finger and raised my chin up. I thought, OMG, are we gonna kiss? Shut up, I said, because I had a demigod Weizen. I see Artemis, and she was yelling angry. Flavia, what are you doing? You're from Artemis. You can't date ever. It's the law. You won't be immortal and live forever if you break the vows. Will you pick to living forever? Or this pathetic loser dame god, Nevo? One more time. Pathetic loser dame god, Nevo. Oh, good grief. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the chat recently. This is literally a Gacha Life movie in text form. It literally is. Flava, what's wrong? Nico was concerned. He was gonna kiss my lips, but I said, no, Artemis said I'm a huntress, means I can't be in love. Also no sex. I swore at Artemis, but then the Weizen dispersed. Then I started crying. Alabaster put his hand on my back, but I said, "Don't touch me, Albastard," to him. Get it? I was so confussed. "I'm sorry you're exiled," said Alblaster. He let it go of me, sensitively. "Camp sucks anyway," I said. "Everybody worships Percy and Annabeth. The other demigods are mean. Creon is kind of cute, but misguided. And Mr. D looks at Kid Prawn in the big house." Oh, this is the canonically accurate Greek mythology version of Percy Jackson. Everyone's mean, and the gods look at Kid Prawn. Oh my god. "It'll be better for you to be with Artemis," said Nico, "and be a huntress." "Let's make a sacrifice to Artemis," announced Alabaster. "Maybe she won't be so angry then." A bush rustled. I shot an arrow into the heart off it. It was a satyr. Nico cut it up with his sword. What? Wait, I missed this. They killed a satyr. Just in cold blood. Nico cut it up with his sword, and we put him on a big cooking grill. Alabaster did magic and burned it, and he was sacrificed. "Hail, Artemis!" we chanted 12 times and wait for a sign. Suddenly, Artemis appeared misty like a ghost. "I accept your gift," she said. "It is sweet in my ears, but still not date Flavia. Unless you want to not live forever immortal and be a virgin goddess like me, you must choose." "I'm only 14!" I shouted loudly. "You may make your chose at the end of your quest when you find me," Artemis said wisely. She misted away. "Where are you?" I yelled. But she was misted away. I sat down and ate some Amberosa. God. How much longer can we take of this, to be honest? We're only on chapter 4. Ridiculous. Anyway. Chapter 4. I go to Hades. We all ate Amberosa. Mine tasted like kissing Nico's lips. First, I felt bad because I was cheating on Luke, except he was dead, so it wasn't like real cheating. Then I polished Agamemnon until I could see my eyes in the reflect. "Where should I look for Artemis?" I asked Nico and Alabaster. "She is not in Olympus. She never goes on her throne except a little," said Alabaster. "Mostly she hunts in the wild." "What if she is in Underworld?" said Nico. "We can't go there," said Alabaster. "I am from Hades. I can," yelled Nico. He raised his sword and hit the ground with his iron sword, and split it open wide, a dark crack. Hot breeze and a burn smell came from the crack. "That's the fire and lava ashes from Tartarus," Nico explained us. I jumped down the deep crack, and so did Nico and Alabaster. Alabaster did magic to make us land safe on the other side of the dead river. Holy crap, did they actually get a Greek name right? So Cerberus was on the other side of us, and we didn't have to go by him. Well, that's convenient. The dead were flying around us like ghosts, but I cut at them with Agamemnon, and they flew away scared by the bright sliver blade. I saw the ghost that was the rapist from NYC City, so I flipped him off. Ahead of us was Hades' palace, a shiny black palace with pillars and iron stairs in the front. There were skeleton guards, but Nico chopped them up with his iron sword, and we run up the stairs to Hades' throne room. He was sitting down on a throne made from dead people parts and smoke, and his robes were black and also made from dead people ghosts. He kind of looked like Johnny Depp, super pale, but he had black hair and a ponytail, and a little eyeliner, but not too much because he isn't gay. Oh my god. What is the appropriate amount of eyeliner until you're gay? Like, if I put on eyeliner right now, like, how much would I have to put on until all of a sudden I'm gay? Someone answer me, please. This is something we need to know for prosperity. God. I can't read that. I can't read that. Persephone was sitting next to him. She had pale makeup and dark red lipstick and black eyeshadow with long eyelashes. Her hair was black and she cut it short and had a little bit of red dyed on the ends on a few hairs, and red nail polish on one hand and black nail polish on the other hand. She was wearing a gown made of black lace with a spiky collar, like Gothic, because she was goddess of the death. Isn't Persephone like the goddess of springtime or something? Like, she comes down to Hades in the winter solstice and then comes back. She's not a goddess of death. I thought she was springtime. Yeah, Persephone. Maybe Persephone's the goddess of death. Not sure about Persephone, though. "What do you want, puny dame gods?" said Hades. "Have you kidnapped Artemis?" I yelled. Artemis? "No, although she is hot," said Hades. Persephone shouted, "Are you cheating on me, you man whore?" "Calm down, bitch," said Hades quickly. "I cheated on Nico's mom, too." Magic-colored red and purple stuff shot from Persephone's fingers and eyes. "This is Nico here. I will destroy him, and the other demigods." But Hades handcuffed her with some handcuffs he had in his pocket, and put a gag on her mouth so she couldn't do a curse. "I can tell you're Artemis' daughter," Hades told to me. "You're hot too." "Yeah, well, I'm not legal," I said. "I'm 15. Wait, whoa. Wasn't she 14? Like a few minutes ago? Hades gave me a magic locket that turned into a whip when I talked in Greek. He also gave Nico a shiny black otter box signed by dead bands with autographs. "This is for you, son," he said to Nico. "Hey, do I get something?" said Alabaster. "No, because you're the bastard spawn of Hecate," said Hades. He gave us a shiny black 3 people-sized motorcycle with silver and white flame stickers, so we could use it and fly out from the underworld. "I want to see Luke," I told Hades, but he shook his head. "He is in Elysium. You can only go there if you are dead." I cried, but I knew Hades told the truth. "Will you give him message?" "No," said Hades. "When you're a hero and get killed, you give him message by yourself, in Elysium." I sat on the motorcycle behind Nico and held onto his waist. I could feel his muscle abs. Alabaster sat behind me and held around my waist. His hands were strong and pale. I thought if Artemis chose. If I picked immortality, Nico and Alabaster would be dead to me like Luke, even if they would still be alive. Also, if I lived forever, I would never die, so I would never see Luke in Elysium. Damn, hard choices. We flew the motorcycle over the punishment field, where people were getting tortured. One guy, Tantalus, was trying to eat, but the food disappeared. Another guy was chained up in a rock and snake acid dropped on him. I smiled because I saw Brittany there. She was chained to a giant coach purse for eternity for tormenting me. Oh my god. Brittany made a comeback, folks. "Can we rescue them?" said Alabaster. Nico shook his head. "It is the judgment of the gods. There's nothing we can do." I knew Nico was saying the truth. I knew if I lived forever, there was no chance I'd go to the punishment. It is too hard shows, I thought. I'll pick it later. But we saw Tartarus. It was a black... Brittany was the girl who bullied her in the beginning. She died and now is chained to a giant coach purse. Oh boy. But we saw Tartarus. It was a black hole where mist came out, and I knew all the dead monsters were in there, getting formed back together and twice as deadly. We flew away from the underworld until we were back in the forest. I gave my whip a name. I called it Telemachus. then put it back around my neck, but I made it a locket first. It matched my etnies. It matched my etnies. With my locket on, Alabaster couldn't take his eyes off me. You're beautiful, Flavia. I kicked him in the stomach with both feet slammed into him, and I turned Telemachus into a whip. I'm not your GF, okay? So stop acting like I am. Yeah, said Nico. Leave her alone. Alabaster said a swear word and got on his feet. He looked like he wanted to kill Nico. I knew someday they would fight over me, maybe to the death. I realized at that moment my beautiful was a curse from Artemis, so I would be a virgin goddess like her. But then Nico put his iPod on and played some My Chemical Romance random playlist. There we go, there's the My Chemical Romance reference. And he said flirtly, "Hey girl, wanna dance?" "Sure," I said, and we danced in the glow from the moon, and I felt Artemis was looking down and did not like what she saw. But then we got lost in the music, and I winded my whip around Nico when we danced like a black snake. Oh my god. Beautiful. Actually beautiful. This fanfic goes so hard. Oh god, it's chapter 5. It's only chapter 5, guys. Anyway. Chapter 5. Back to Camp Half-Blood. When the next morning came, I put on a black tank top and black skinny jeans that were ripped in the knees, and a black leather jacket. My hair was getting too long, so I took my knife, Agamemnon, to cut it all uneven at the shoulders. Last I put on my silver crescent moon earring and went to see Nico. Nico was wearing his ripped jacket and black jeans, and Alabaster was wearing green jacket and dark green jeans with magic symbols on them. On the description of the clothes. Artemis will be found, I said. If we have another sacrifice, maybe we can ask her. We looked around the dark forest for satyrs or mortal hikes. What? But we found none. I know how to find Artemis, said Alabaster suddenly. We can ask the Oracle. But the Oracle's at Camp Half-Blood, idiot. I can't go there. I was exiled, I said, angry. We can ask Creon if we can go back for a little while, Alabaster said. We'll ask the Oracle for a prophecy to tell where Artemis is. Nico nodded wisely. We can try. We walked through the trees. I carried Agamemnon, Telemachus my whip, and my bow and arrow ready to fight. Nico welded his sword ready for battle, and Alabaster held his hands in front ready to do magic. I led the way. It was night, and the sky was dark like midnight, and there was a crescent moon shining. I knew Camp Half-Blood was very close, on the other side of the forest. The bush rustled and red eyes glared suddenly. I fired my arrow, but it was too late. An Impusa jumped out with fangs and a metal leg and a horse leg. It was an Impusa. She said it twice. Like in the Battle of the Labyrinth. She bit her fangs in my neck, and I slashed Telemachus and cut her head off her body with a sharp whip. Then I shot her with an arrow in the heart and cut her in pieces with Agamemnon. When she was dead, I felt on my neck. There were bite marks, and my heart sunk. The Impusa curse. I'll become an Impusa vampire now. I would be a monster, and Artemis would never let me be a huntress now. No, you won't. I won't let you. Alabaster put magic symbols on my neck, and the bite holes went away. The curse was mostly healed. I didn't turn into an Impusa, but my teeth got sharper, and my eyes turned red when I got really angry. Also, I got very pale. You think I'm a freak, I yelled at him. No, you could never be a freak, said Alabaster. Jeez, how much fucking longer is this? No, you could never be a freak, said Alabaster. Nico put his arm on me. You're safe now, Flava. You'll make a better huntress even, with sharp fangs to hunt, eyes to see in the dark. Alabaster got the motorcycle. We can ride this and get there fast. We all got on it. I sat in front, and Nico held me tight, then Alabaster sat in the back. We flew in the woods, and Nico put his iPod on again. I really wanted to make out when we landed down. Jesus Christ. Before I could say anything, Camp Half-Blood loomed in front of us, and ahead of us. I could see black shapes for all the cabins, except the Artemis cabin glowed bright in the dark. There was a big bonfire, and the demigods were there singing a dumb song. Annabeth was there in preppy clothes, holding hands with Percy Jackson, and they were smoking pot. I effing exiled you, yelled Chiron behind us. How dare you come back, you insidious bitch snake? Jesus. Hey, I'm not gonna stay. Calm down, brony, I said. Get it? 'Cause he's a centaur. Brony. You gotta wonder why they didn't use that on him before. We want to talk to the Oracle, said Nico stern. Who's that? Creon pointed at Alabaster. He's a son of Hecate. She's the goddess of magic, I said. Hecate helped with Kronos. Chiron stamped his hooves. He cannot enter Camp Half-Blood. I walked to the big house, but I froze. Sitting by the bonfire was Ivy. She was fixed in Tartarus like a monster's, and was sitting by the Aphrodite demigods. Hey, Percy, I said. I had a clever idea. Here's your GF, Ivy. No, I'm his GF, screamed Annabeth. That's funny. I saw you kissing Ivy the Dryad, I said. Percy turned red. No, Annabeth, it's not like that. She's like my sister. Yeah, I bet you kiss your sister, you pervert, yelled Annabeth. We're so over, Percy. But we kissed underwater. I love you, Percy said. There's no we anymore, seaweed ass. Annabeth bitch slapped Ivy so hard she fell into the fire. Oh my god. Then she ran away to the Aphrodite cabin and slammed the door. Percy started to cry. I took a pic with my iPod and went to the big house where Nico was waiting. We climbed the attic where the Oracle was. The other Oracle was Rachel, but she was a preppy mortal, so we talked to the old Oracle, a dry mummy that said prophecies. Oracle, what is the prophecy? Chanted Nico. Then the Oracle spoke. Dun dun dun. Chapter 6. The Oracle spoke. One moment. Gotta drink my nectar and ambrosia right now. Oh, that's good nectar and ambrosia. Chapter 6. The Oracle spoke. Ivy was resurrected just to die again. Actually feel bad for them. True. This is the second time she's died. She said, Artemis can be found in the light of the moon. Ask one demigod who knows you will find her very soon. Came from her dry mouth like green smoke on a dragon scales. What does this mean? Nico asked. OMG, Nico, I think it means one of the campers, Half-Blood, knows where Artemis is. Oh shit, hold on. Looks like we went offline for a sec. Okay, looks like we're back. Sorry about that, folks. I got a notification that said it was offline. You might see a bit of, might have seen frozen, might have seen a bit of freezing right there, but I think we're fine now. I decided we would have to call everyone together by the fire so I could explain about the prophecy. I went outside and I told Chiron, the Oracle says one of the demigods knows where Artemis is. We must question them and find the truth. Why should I listen to you, you disruptive psycho? Yelled Chiron. It is the will of Artemis. She's over you, and you know it. I said calm because I knew I was right. Very well, we'll do that, said Chiron. Well, that was easy. All the demigods got in a group around the bonfire where I could see them. The sour-smelling jocks from Ares and the preps from Aphrodite. The losers... Sorry. The losers from Cabin 11. It's funny because, like, Cabin 11, for the people who aren't familiar with Percy Jackson, is the cabin for the unclaimed demigods, as well as Hermes. So to call them losers is like a really offensive slap in the face. So that's why it was so funny. And the posers from some other cabins. Some looked at me angry, but mostly they were jealous. Percy Jackson was trying to talk to Annabeth, but she put on her headphones so she couldn't hear what he was saying. But the music was so loud I could hear she was listening to One Direction again. Ivy was there too. Her hair was all smoky in the bonfire, so I flipped her off, and the moon glinted on my silver skull ring that Nico gave me. "Shut up, everyone," said Chiron. "There is a message of important." Under the spread night sky with glowing stars, I stood to talk. "One of you knows where Artemis is. Speak now, or face the wrath." "Yeah, right," Annabeth laughed, nervous. "Artemis is in Olympus with the other gods and the goddesses." "No, fool, she is not," Chiron explained. "She has not been seen for a long time, but now she wants to connect with her only daughter, so she is somewhere in the earth. Do you know where?" Annabeth rolled her eyes and took some pink lipstick and put it on to show us she didn't care. Percy Jackson stole her headphones and tried to hold her hand, but Annabeth started flirt with Apollo because she dumped his seaweed butt. Oh my god. A poser from a Demeter said, "How could one of us know? She's like a goddess, and we don't know where she is." "Hey, just wanted to say I love your vids." Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much. "We will ask for a sign," said Chiron. "Does this need a sacrifice?" I said, because there were a lot of jerks to pick from. "No, it is not necessary." Suddenly a bright arrow appeared in the air and pointed to Albaster. "A sign from Artemis," said Chiron in awe. "Alblaster, you know all this time, you bastard!" I yelled. "Why didn't you tell me where Artemis was?" "Because if you went to Artemis, you would become a huntress, and I can't date," he said sensitively. "I didn't want that to happen because I love you." "What?" I said. My heart was swirled with confusement, because now that I know the truth. Oh my god. This is awful. This is legitimately terrible. Ugh. There's still more. Chapter 7. Ready for the quest. "What?" I said. My heart was swirled with confusement now that I know the truth. I didn't know if I should shoot him with my arrows or make out, so instead I... Let's read that again. I didn't know if I should shoot him with my arrows or make out, so instead I said, "Where's Artemis, if you know?" "She's in a city in California called Knox City, a place where she wants her to meet you," said Albaster. He shot magic and a map showed in the sky, all silver and glowed. I knew this was a smart name because Nox was the goddess of the night. Ooh. "Knox City. It is a place filled with monsters off all kinds," said Chiron. "Hades lives there in the summer because it's dark and filled with fell monsters and dangerous peril." What? "It is the deadly place in California." I took out Agamemnon and chopped a branch off the tree next to us. "I have skill. I can fight. Anyway, Nico will protect me." "I'm coming with you," said Nico. "I'm coming too because I know where the way is. Also, I love you," said Albaster. He shot magic and the map misted away. "Show us your skills first," yelled Chiron. "Only the strongest of dame gods can go on this quest, or else it will be dangerous." Nico cut a table in 4 halves with his iron sword. Chiron looked on with approve. Albaster shit magic, and all the demigods were impressed except the bitchy ones, because they never saw something like this before. Annabeth said, "Are you joking? I could do that with my eyes closed." But it was a lie. She had no magic powers at all. Also... Wait, I gotta prep myself for this next sentence. Also, she had herpes from smoking pot. Herpes from smoking pot. Good God. "I will go quest," said Ivy of a suddenly. "Don't let her," I told Chiron. "She is a slut." "I want to be a huntress," yelled Ivy. "Ever since Percy dumped me, I'm alone. I hate guys now because I see they have no value." My eyes opened. "But only 3 go on a quest. The law says, and the law must be obeyed," said Chiron sternly. I looked at Nico, Alabaster, and Ivy, and I knew the truth must happen. One must die. So then there would be 3 of us left. But I said nothing because people shouldn't know their fate. It's not allowed. Anyway, if it was Ivy, she would just be fixed in Tartarus. So Chiron went to the big house, and he came back with another bow and arrow for Ivy, but it wasn't silver like mine was. We were ready to go on the quest. I led the way. I staked from camp with my middle finger held up high, with my bow in one hand, and an Agamemnon in the other one. It was sunset, so everything was in a red light like fire. It glowed on my hair like silk or Satan. Silk or Satan. Nico was looking so hot in his leather jacket and black ripped jeans with chains all over it, and he was wearing a little eyeliner like Hades. Ivy had green skin because the chlorophyll was in her blood veins, and straight green hair and green eyes with eyeshadow and dark green lipstick. She was wearing a tank top that was purple, and also black skinny jeans. She looked hot, but not as hot as me. So that was okay because I didn't want her to hit on Nico. Jesus. We walked until we got to the middle of the forest. I went to chop some trees for the fire. What? I went to chop up some trees for the fire. When I came back, Ivy was hitting on Alabaster. I glowed with wrath. F off, Ivy. He's not your BF. If you're a huntress, you can't have a BF anyways. That's okay. I don't love her, Alabaster said assuringly. Screw guys anyway. They all suck, Ivy yelled. We'll stay here for the night, said Nico. He took the wood I chopped up and told Alabaster to burn it on fire. Then everybody went to sleep except me, because I was daughter of the moon goddess, which is at night. I didn't have to sleep. So I put on my headphones and moshed to some simple plan under the ethereal light from the full moon. If Artemis is the goddess of hypocrisy, then Flavia is like the titan of hypocrisy. Unbelievable. There's still more. Sorry. Who moshes to simple plan? Flavia does, apparently. Oh goodness. Chapter 8. OMG. Gods get it. We walked all day through the woods and soon... Hold up. We walked all day through the woods and soon got to California the next day. They walked from Long Island to California in a day. It was the desert where we were. So I didn't wear my jacket. Instead, I stuck it in my backpack that Nico and Alabaster were fighting over who carried for me. But my bow and arrow were on the ready, because this was the desert. This was the desert of monsters. Also, I carried Agamemnon, and Telmelchus was around my neck, the locket kind. Sorry. It was a walk and everything was hot. Wait. It was a walk and everything was hot. Especially Nico, LOL. Which of you said Nico was so hot before in the chat? You just predicted chapter 8. Good job. Ugh. We came to a bridge that was old and made of sticks tied together, and it hung above a big cliff. We must cross this bridge, said Alabaster. But it was a drop 500 sheer feet, all the way to sharp stalactites at the bottom. You didn't even get the formation right. Stalagmites at the bottom. We looked over the edge and saw some skeletons there who got impaled because they fell. OMG, I yelled. See, like, the name of the chapter. Ugh. Because 15 monsters were running at us from the other side of the bridge. There was 3 monitors, and Empusa thirsted for my blood, but I was impervious because I was part Empusa now. Also 6 Telkines and 6 Hellhounds. Oh my god. The first Monitor flunged himself on me. Not that way, you pervs. Oh god. I cut his stomach and something fell out. It was his spleen, but people can live without their spleen, so I stabbed him again. No. Then I shot the Empusa and the arrow went through her head and kept going, so I killed the Hellhounds too. Nico swung his sword in an arc. 3 monitor heads rolled in the air and exploded like dust. Alabaster shot magic at the Telkines. They got all confused and killed each other's men. Ivy threw rocks at them too. Just when I thought we win, more monsters poured from the cliff. I stood with my back against Nico. I was ready to go down fighting like an huntress should. A monitor axe cut me a little before, so I had a sexy scar on the right side of my lip to my chin. I looked proud and dangerous. There's too many Flava, yelled Ivy. We need to run away. No, I yelled. Let them come. I stabbed with Agamemnon and transformed Telemachus into a whip. It lashed mighty and split 3 monsters in halves as it cut through the air like a steel snake. We will die, you know, said Ivy. Then we will die like Heros, I said. We will go to Elysium and be with Luke forever. Wait, your heart is still his? Said Alabaster confusedly. I opened my mouth to say yes, but then I stopped. Image of Nevo's firmed abs and Alabaster's sensitive faces misted in my eyes. For a first time, I was not sure anymore. Got Nevo's hotness again. Good job, Blackburn. The monsters were all dead now, so we walked on the bridge. It was 700 feet high. The winds howled around us like storms with tornadoes. Ivy bitched and moaned, but I narrowed my lips and pressed on. The bridge was so long, it took us another day to get to the edge of it. What? So, wait. They can cross from Long Island to California in a day, but the bridge takes another day to cross? Whatever. And the rest of the desert stretched in front of us. It was a depressing sight. Oh my god. Chapter 9. Losers in Camp Half-Blood. Got a bit of an intermission, folks. We're looking at what they're doing over in Camp Half-Blood now. Must be a big bridge. Yes, very, very apt observation, Andrew. Good job. The bridge goes to China. Rick Riordan, where's the spinoff where they meet the Chinese gods, huh? That's going to be a real moneymaker there. Anyway, Chapter 9, Losers in Camp Half-Blood. During Sorry. During I quested, Creon got all the camper demigods together to discuss the quest. Why did none of you go on the quest with them, you dim fools? But we didn't pass the test of skills, said Apollo. That is true. Most of you are not born to be heroes or anything. We need to help Flavia, Nico, and Albaster anyway. How can we do this? A sacrifice, said a son of Zeus. Wait, what? Since when are there sons of Zeus now? There's only, like, Jason and Thalia, right? Whatever. We have a cooking grill in camp. We can speak with Artmaeus to help them. No, scum. We will consult the Oracle. Annabeth, this is your task because you were texting during the capture the flag when you should have been fighting instead. This is a punishment, said Chiron. They already talked to the Oracle, snitted Annabeth. She was wearing nail shirt that was pink and too much makeup, so she looked blonde and slutty, like all the Aphrodites. But they did not get a prophecy from Rachel. She is just a mortal, but it's good to have news from her too anyway. Now go, or you will be flung to Tartarus. Annabeth walked to the big house to seek of Rachel. Rachel was in the attic and her eyes glowed green. I have no prophecy, except the three on the quest will be of Dame Gods the best. God. Annabeth was mad, but she had to tell Chiron. She was a coward in heart. That's why she took a shortcut in the room with all the computers in camp. There was a strange noise. She came closer and screamed because she saw Mr. D looking at Child Prawn on Chiron's computer. OMG, you perv, get the hell out of here, she yelled. But Mr. D laughed instead. He did purple magic, and Annabeth turned into a grape with no soul. Yes! It's the soulless grape. Man. If only all of us could turn our enemies into grapes with no souls. This world's problems will be over with in 3 days. You people are free. Oh, the grape with no soul. Oh my god. Oh, that's classic. That is the fan fiction writing I make YouTube videos for. Right. Oh, we have our first author's notes, folks. If you're a hater, you need a life. If you're so good, you write a published book, not flame real rights, okay? And I'm not a troll. I don't even like Homestuck, okay? See, the thing is, I have published a book. So, I can flame Hannah. So fuck you. Anyway. Chapter 10. Love. Okay, pause actually. It's 9 o'clock, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, right now. How are y'all feeling? We got 55 people in the chat right now. That's really good. I have no idea what Homestuck is. I have no idea what Homestuck is. How are y'all feeling about continuing on? You want to see where we're at around 10 p.m. or so? I'm gonna wait for some answers in the chat. What do y'all think? How much longer should we continue this? Because this is legitimately painful. We're not even 1/7 of the way through, for a point of reference. I'm still full of rave and can keep going. Okay. Sure. Okay. Looks like I'm fine continuing. I'm a night owl. Okay. Yes. Okay, we're all in agreement. I'll just continue on. Chapter 10. Love will find a way. Anyways, we were walking in the desert, and it was really hot. It was really hot. It was so hot, you had to say it twice. So I took off my jacket and my t-shirt, so I was just in my bra on top. This girl's 15, by the way. I'm a C cup. This girl's 15, by the way. It was black and tight. Okay. Also, Nico and Alabaster said it was hot in the desert, and they took off all their clothes except their boxers. They're like 17. Not as bad, but still bad. Ew. Gross. What was that you were saying, Blackburn, about Nico being hot? Well, the dessert was so hot. Now he's reaching maximum hottage. God. Now I could see his chest better. He had many sexy scars. Ivy wore a bra made from leaves, but she was jealous of me because she had no real boobage. Boobage. Also, her skin was green, but mine was pale. And why does a person's skin color matter, Hannah? You were just going off about how racist Camp Half-Blood was. But here you are comparing your skin color to another person's skin color. Whatever. We walked in the desert more. I could wait no longer. I stared into the sky that was blue with some orange clouds and said, I love you! I confessed my love. I didn't care what Artemis did, but the problem was I didn't know if I said this to Nico or Alabaster. They both stopped and looked at me weird. What? They said loudly. You should have seen their... Oh, good lord. Oh, that was an unfortunate typo. You should have seen their feces. You should have seen their feces. Oh my god. That is brilliant. That is fucking brilliant. No way. No way. Alabaster's shit magic strikes again. Oh. Oh, good grief. Oh. Oh, I'm sure people are trying to sleep around me. Goodness. I said I love you, okay? I said. Nico cried tears from joy. They were like dry ice curling on his face. I love you since I met you, Flavia, but I thought you were too good for me. Now I know our happiness can be together if you're my GF. But I love her, Alabaster yelled. I saw Artemis' face float in front of me. It was like she was saying, you must choose. I love you both, I yelled. I can't choose one of you over the other one. You're both equally hot. I like them for other reasons too, because I'm not a slut. Well, glad we got that cleared up. This is indeed a problem, said Nico. Then we saw a palm trees by some lake. Ivy run to get some water, but I pushed her into the ground. Stop! There are monsters here. I feel it in the wind. But we saw none, so we kept going. Well, that was pointless. Your senses are a bit off, Flavia. By the palm trees, there was a motel. There were fans in it, and My Chemical Romance was playing on a CD loud so we could hear it. That's how you know this was written in 2013, because they reference CDs. I was around for that time. That's me. We went inside and sat down on the bar, and there was beer. It's legal for dame gods. We can drink when we're 12, because we mostly die anyway. Wow. That's an interesting bit of lore. And we drank it with was silver. That makes no sense. Enjoy that beer, bitch? Ugh. A hot guy who looked like Luke was hiding behind a bar. He had gold hair that matched his eyes, glowing sexily. He had a giant thing, like you cut down grass with, made from metal. I knew this was Kronos. He smiled in a way that was evil and sexy. I will kill you, demigods. Why? I said. For vengeance, dummy, he said. But Percy killed you when he killed Luke, I explained. Kronos smiled. Luke's love for you was too strong. It would not let me die, so I'm still alive. Jesus Christ. This can't be. My head spun in a circle. My head spun in a circle like freaking Exorcist girl, Reagan. It was too much to take it all in. Just then I heard a voice. It was a god passed by. It said, Stop him, Flava. I knew I must act. I threw Agamemnon at his face with a sharp blade pointing towards him, but he missed it away. This was close, but he will be back, said Nico, worried. I started to kiss Nico, but he shook his head tragically. He looked in my pale face. I can't be your BF anymore. It's not good for me. I need to keep you safe from Kronos' wrath. Suddenly my world shattered into a million pieces. I knew it was Nevo I really loved after all, but now my world was dark without him. You fucker, I hate you, I said. Wow. Jesus, chapter is long. Oh god, I need a breather. Give me a moment. Or a drinker. Ugh, Jesus Christ. Ugh. Language on it. Yeah, it's funny how she like censors some curse words but then just flat out says, you fucker, I hate you. Ridiculous. Chapter 11. Flight. We were still on the dessert the next day. I woke up and got dressed. I knew that now I had to win back the longing of Nevo's silver rays of admiration and love. To do this, I must use the big female weapon, lusting. The big female weapon. Okay. Any women in my chat right now? Can you confirm whether lusting is the big female weapon? Anyone? I wasn't a slut, but I needed him to love me, and there was a kind of the little fun, and it was kind of... Sorry, I just fucking, like... The big female weapon is probably the same as the big male one, an anti-tank rifle. True! Finally! Someone gets it. Who needs love when you have anti-tank rifles? I wasn't a slut, but I needed him to love me, and it was kind of a little fun because I knew I could not date after Artemis. So I stayed in only my bra, but I changed to a new one that was silver and had glowing threads that matched my eyes. Jesus Christ. Also, they're 15. She's 15, remember. Also, I wore a black leather miniskirt that was black as... that was as black as Nico's despair in the pits of the night's last gloom. Oh my god. Yeah, totally not a slut, by the way. Exactly, CK. Lastly, I put a black kohl on my eyes and eyelashes, so I was very, very pale, even more than usually. I brushed my teeth that were sharp because the Impusa cursed. I used toothpaste from a was crest, so it made them very white. I walked to where everybody else was sleeping. They were sleeping in the gold sand. Lucky it was hot in the desert, and we needed no blankets. That's not true. The desert gets very cold at night. So I could see Nico sleeping without his shirt. Well, hold on. Wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They are sleeping in the day. Okay, that's one thing the fanfic got right that I got wrong. Sorry about that, guys. I'm officially on the same wavelength as Moondaughter when it comes to intelligence. Anyway, what was I saying? So I could see Nico sleeping without his shirt. The sun dazzled his statue abs, and his pecs were like pale plates. I felt them and made out with him a little. He was still asleep. She's still not a slut. We can add molestation to that, to the rap sheet. Flavia is a freaking sexual abuser. But it was okay because I knew that he wanted me to. Guys, remember, sexual assault is okay if the male's the victim, right? Isn't that how this goes? Isn't that how the logic goes, right? Anyway, that got a bit too serious for this reading, so let's go. Then he woke. Sheeps become the rapist. Yes, true. Now Flavia will end up chained to a coach purse in Tartarus. Then he woke up, and so did Alabaster and Ivy. Nico's shirts were all ripped up, so he couldn't put it back on. She got to do an interpretive dance as an apology. True. Ivy dressed slutly in a cut-off tank top and mini pants, and leaf earrings and green lipstick because she was a dryad. Alabaster whore a camo pants, and he had no shirt on too. Oh, good lord. Hey, Nico, I said sexily. Hi, Flava, we must fight Kornos, he said, welding his iron sword. Or he will return, and the world will feel... and the world will feel his weight. Kornos will sit on them. How far do we walk until Nox City? Whined Ivy. She was tired already. Alabaster nodded wisely. We must cross the desert, and then some other things, and it'll be within our sight. It was long on the sand stretching in front of us like golden sand. The sands were so expansive you had to say it twice. People died in this desert. There were skeletons and everything. Buzzers flew over our heads to taste of the human flesh. Some wild whores ran over the hill with their manes and tails flying in the desert wind. There was a thin silver one in front of the others with a flying black mane and tail. I knew this was the leader horse, and it remembered me of myself. Stay back. I'll catch this horse and ride it, I told them. I made Telmelkus into a rope and sneaked by the horse. Then I run swiftly after the horse. It ran away, and I chased it faster. It was a thrill chase. That whore would be mine! Flavia, Maya Lilith Knight, master of whores. Takes one to know one, I guess, right? The horse reared up on its hind legs and waved with sharp hoofs. I knew it was a fight to the death. I lassoed the horse around the neck with the rope, and my heart broke it. Oh, sorry. My heart broke. It was so wild and free. I knew even though it was now mine, I couldn't bear to keep it chained in low slavery. So I took Agamemnon and slashed on the rope. You are free now, wild thing. But the horse wouldn't run. It came to me and licked me, because it was grateful I spared its life, and now its life was mine to be loyal to the death. I jumped onto its back, and I held onto its mane. I could see it had some white streaks in its mane, too. Also, it had a white mark shaped like the moon on its forehead. This is a secret whore of Artemis, I declared. I spoke to the horse and determined its name, and its name was Crescent Stag. It was the leader horse, so it led some of the other horses to us. Nico got a black stallion like a heart of a midnight shadow that had red eyes that glowed. Alabaster got a palomino that was golden with a long white mane that swept on the sands, and Ivy got a brown horse with white on its legs. I rode in the front because Crescent Stag was the leader horse because they were used to following him. Do you notice something weird about these whores? Said Alabaster suspiciously. Yes, I said because I looked and they had wings. They were Pegasuses. They just now noticed they had wings. These are Pegasuses. We ride them at Camp Half-Blood. We got 62 people in the chat right now, folks. That's pretty good. That's impressive. Thank you all for joining. We ride them at Camp Half-Blood. The Pegasuses at Camp Half-Blood loved me. I remembered giving them apples and fruits every day, even though that Aphrodite bully mocked me. The memory was like a butterfly touching my brain. We flew over the desert. It was a good thing because we saw Kronos on the ground. He waved his scythe at us sharply. If you were on the ground, I would destroy you, cursed demigods. Next time, you will not press luck. I flew really low and showed him my middle finger. His eyes flashed golden wrathfully. I stopped because I remembered how much he looked like Luke. Power blazed in his hands. Here was a dangerous enemy. I knew I could kill him if we fought it, but it would be close. I shot my arrow at him, but we were too far away now, and it missed him, but only 3 or 4 inches away. Why is he in the desert, anyway? I asked Nico, as he flew back on the black stallion Pegasus he was riding. It had black leather wings like a buzzer sweeping in the day air. But I didn't see them because my eyes were on Nico only. He is looking for the word of death, explained Nico sensitively. No, what is the word of death? I said, horrified. Horrified! Is it possible to gain cancer from reading cringy fanfics? Well, thanks for asking, Weird Cat. We're about to find out today. I mean, I might get liver cancer, but you know what? Worth it. It is a secret to Hades only. It's a word, and when you say it, the person you say it to dies killed, said Nikop. all these names for Nico are killing me. Nikop. We can't let him find it. He'll destroy the world and all the good dame gods. My heart sunk. I thought of Camp Half-Blood, raced into the ground with ashes. They were racist and cruel, but their hearts were good. What? I thought about Chiron slaughtered by Kronos, dead. This can't happen. Let's kill him first, I said, fiery. What? Patient. We must find Artemis first. Then the Hunteresses will defend Camp Half-Blood, said Nico. I don't normally talk this long, I'm sorry. The day got longer, and the night... We need a Geiger counter on this story. Nice. The day got longer, and then night started. Ivy and Alabaster fell asleep tired, but Nico and me were swake. Swake. We soared in the sky. There were stars all around us, and the moonlight glinted on us. The Pegasuses ran through the stars, and there were wings spread stardust like silver rays. Nico looked at me depressedly. It looked like he had black circles around where his eyes were, and the rest of his face was pale white. A single tear came down his face. I started singing that one song by My Chemical Romance. I knew we must kiss. No, Flavia, I can't. I must protect you from Kronos, said Nico. Screw Kronos, I said, and I kissed him anyway. The stars glared around us in circles, and the moon showed only on us. 'cause Artemis. Thanks. But suddenly it turned dark. Flavia, how dare you? It was Artemaeus' face appeared on the moon. You are no longer a virgin like me. You are no daughter of mine. Yeah, so apparently, one thing I forgot to mention is that apparently kissing means you lose your virginity. That's how you lose it, is by kissing. Ugh. Anyway. She rumbled with fair silver eyes. But it wasn't really her, it was just a Vyzen. Flava, what's wrong? Asked Nico. I was going to tell him, but just then we looked down, and Nox City was under us. Wow. I'm gonna grab a, Fuck, I'll keep going. Ugh, Jesus. Oh, here we go, folks. Stop saying I steal from Immortal, okay? I never read your story. And you're all flamers, and Flavia's not blonde, okay? She's Greek, not Latin. Wow. So, not only does she acknowledge that My Immortal is a thing, but she also acknowledges what some of you in the comments said before, which is that Flavia means blonde, even though Flavia, the character, hates blondes. Apparently this is her explanation for why Flavia is named Flavia, even though she's not a blonde. She's Greek, not Latin. Okay, whatever you say, Hannah. Chapter 12. Bitter Betrayal. Nox City. It was indeed the deadly place in California. Streets winded in dark alleys with pollution like a tortured twisting of a tortured soul. Tortured soul. The pollution was brown and made from smoke. We walked through it. I shook my head in disgust. Why would Artemaeus be here? There's no wild place, just a big crappy city. My heart filled with ferocious rage. The mortals were rapping her woods and forests. The pollution attracts monsters, Nevo said, serious. Here comes some now. A lot of Drakinas and some frost giants ran at us. I used my bow to skewer 5 Drakinas at once, and from then I named my bow Drakina's Doom. Wow, worst weapon name origin story ever. I then rode on Crescent Stag, my Pegasus, and flew up by the giants' faces and slitted their throats with Agamemnon. Blood sprayed out like a torrent from the dying soul and got all over the place, but not on me because I was too fast like a lightning bolt. Die, I said, and they did. Die! And my chat just drops to 0 right now. My god. Lastly, I stranged the last Drakina with Drakina Doomstring, and I threw the corpus at a mortal who was staring at me like a man. He was probably on crack or crystal meth. The word of death is just die. Yes, you just say die, and it happens. It's just a favor. Die. Ugh. You didn't save any for me, said Albaster. Suddenly, it hit on me like a lightning of Zeus that he was kinda really hot. You're too slow, I said flirtly. Hold on, let me say it like Sonic. You're too slow, I said flirtly. Albaster's etyes smoldered hotly like coals in the distant fire. You're fast. Ooh, God, this guy has a silver tongue. I mean, I felt aroused just reading that line. I'm the best at what I do, I said, and that's killing monsters. Hey, I'm standing right here, asshole, bitched Ivy. but the wisdom of Artemis spoke in my ear. But dryads aren't monsters, I just found that out, I said. Ivy cried with tears from solid joy. No one told me this. If I knew this before, I wouldn't have told Kronos where we were going. I froze in dawn of bitter betrayal. Ivy, you whore! You betrayed me. Again. And I must kill you. Again. I must kill you. Again. The story acknowledges it. Ivy kneeled down in horror, on her knees. But he was so pervasive. And he said I was a monster anyway, and monsters have to obey Kronos. I looked at her with scorn. I knew she was not worth to kill. Well, now Kronos is coming, and it's all your stupid fault. I tied her to a pole that was there with Telemachus, so she couldn't betray me anymore. I knew Kronos would be there in an hour, so we had not much time to find Artemis and the Hunteresses. We slid it up. Alabaster and me went on one street and Nika went the other way. There was a lot of rapists and sleaze. There were no houses, only factories making coach purses for preppy whores like Brittany, who was actually a dame god too and got put in... What? Hold up. This is a twist. So Brittany died, remember? But now she's actually a dame god, and she's in the Aphrodite cabin. Oh my god. I could see Artemis' face in the smoke. She looked at the city wrathfully. At last, I understood what my mission was. I needed to return the city to the wild of Artemis. We'll see where we're at when we hit chapter 20, okay? Oh boy. I'm ignoring you anyway, Flamers, so in your feces. It's back again. This story's not funny, okay? It's serious. People die, okay? It's serious because people die. Anyway. Chapter 13. We destroy Nox City. I knew we must cleanse the city of pollution and all the evil wreaked by mortals. I consulted with Nevo and Alabaster, and I knew this must be done before Kronos showed up. Which was one me must hurry. Since Nico was the dame god of death, he knew how to make all kinds of weapons of mass destruction, like the big bombs and stuff. I can do magic where plants grow out of the pavements, said Alabaster, 'cause he was from England, where they didn't know it's called sidewalks. They'll do my bidding, and the vines will strange and stuff. I am so tired. Nico nodded wisely. We will destroy the city for Artemis. Alabaster shot magic, and plans busted from the ground. They ripped up the sidewalk, and big pieces flew in the air and broke windows. Then he shot magic at a big tower that had smoke coming from the top to make the air thick with poison smoke, and the tower fell over with bricks crashing in the ground. Then Nevo flew up a factory with a Greek firebomb, and all the pollution land Phil inside got killed and was no more. I shot at a mall of people who screamed, but they were... I shot an arrow at a mall full of people who screamed, but they were preps and sluts, so my heart was hard to them. The arrow was full of the might of Artemis, and the mall fell over. Soon there was nothing left from the city except dust. It was free! But suddenly Alabaster fell over on the ground. He looked dead. No! I yelled. Don't die! I love you! and suddenly I knew it was true. Ivy explained, "He used up too much magic. Now he will die unless we fix him." Nico looked at me sensitively. "I thought you loved me. We kiss and everything." But my true feelings invaded me, and I wasn't sure what I should tell him. Nevo kneeled down. He cried with man tears. Man tears. Man tears. "But I love you, Flavia. You're the only one in my heart." He started singing Simple Plan song. "I found a reason for me to change, and that reason is you." Ugh. Wait, am I crazy? Did Ivy come back? Yeah, she was tied to a pole 5 minutes ago. But now she's back. Unreal. But now that the Nox City was free and not a Belmish with preppy mortals, light came back from the moon and lit up to show us there were 100 hunteresses standing there by the forest. "Show me Artemis," I yelled to the huntress in the front. She was a girl with a black leather jacket and gothic, short black hair with blue streaks in it and a lot of black. I could tell she was a poser. That might actually be the funniest thing in this fanfic, unironically. "Artemis is no longer here," she explained. "Her name was Thalia. She is in the forest with Hecate doing the moon rituals, and I'm in charge when Artemis is gone. She had a really big shield with a Medusa face on the front. To show her I was not afraid, I took Agamemnon and cut it in 6 halves before anyone could blink their eyes." Thalia took a spear and pointed it at me. "You're brave, but that was my gift from Zeus. Now I must kill you." I laughed. "Okay, try it." She threw the spear, but the power of Artemis protected me, and the spear missed. I said, "Now it's my turn, bitch." And with one swing, I cut off her head. She turned to dust. No! Thalia, no! Oh my god, why? The other hunteresses kneeled in front of me and said, "Hail Flava," because now I was their new leader, and they almost obey me. But I saw hate and jealousy in some of their eyes. I knew I must rule them with an iron hand. But then an hour was over, and Kronos was coming any second. My jaw's hurting. A lot. Thank God this chapter's short. Jesus Christ. How does she spell spear correctly and misspell in the same sentence? Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway, another author's note from Hannah. "Flamers, you're all pathetic and you suck. It is your jealousy that makes you suck. So keep sucking, bitches. You have no get a life." Oh man. Thalia didn't deserve to die like this a second time. Seriously, true. Chapter 14. Magic. "Hey, Albaster, you are okay?" I asked. Albaster flipped his hair sexily in response to my silver voice. But he was still unconscious. Unconscious. No. No, Oh my god, hold on. Oh dear God. No, Alblaster, you can't die. I love you, and our lives are bound together by the silver chains of Tat love, I cried, knowing that life without Alblaster would be a deep chasm of dark despair. In my despair, I started to sing in my sliver voice, "Bring Me to Life" by Evanescence. Oh my god. except I knew Alabaster was the magic one, since his blood was Hecate, and though Artemis was a powerful god, I got no magic from her, so I could not actually bring Alabaster back to life. Oh, that was a mouthful. Oh, good lord. Even though I knew it would not do any... I can't hold. Excuse me. Okay. Even though I knew it would not do anything, I kept singing. Then, to my amazement, Alabaster, though his eyes were still closed, started to sing along. His own voice, which was gold mixed with my sliver one, and we sang the rest of the song. It was pure magic. Then Alabaster opened his eyes weakly. What happened, Flava? I explained how his powerful magic had won the day for our side, and how it had vanquished the evil of Nox City, and these great feats had drained him. Can you stand? Alabaster tried, but his legs would not hold him up, and he fell. I didn't want to push him beyond his strength, but since Kronos was coming, and I knew Alabaster's mighty magic would be needed in the great fight ahead, I slipped my arm under his shoulders and helped him to his feet. He was so hot and sexy and wounded, and I felt his abs under his torn shirt. I couldn't control myself, and I kissed him. The hunteresses and Ivy looked on with jealousy, the sluts. Jalousy, my mistake. I expected Artemaeus to show up and be angry like before, but to my surprise, he didn't, because Alabaster had proven himself in the fight to cleanse her wilds. That didn't mean she approved, but she chose to look over a kiss or pure love just once because the one I kissed was worthy and wounded in her battle. Ugh. To escape the slutty stares of the hunteresses and Ivy, I helped Alabaster off into the woods a ways. We were about to make out, but an arrow came between and stabbed into a tree. It was the army of Kronos. It was upon us. Dear God. Okay. So, I'll take a little break, tiny little break. Just want to call out someone in the chat. A guy named, his username is Voidouts, is in the chat. He is the guy who made that hilarious thumbnail art for the Moondaughter video. So everyone give a shout to Voids Out, aka Outs Void, in the chat right now. Please thank him for that amazing artwork, because it was hilarious and perfect. Another author's note by Hannah. I said before, this is serious. Lots of people will get killed. Maybe even some of the MCs, so don't laugh, bitches. P.S. The monsters in this part represent you, flamers. Ha 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 ha. Man. Chapter 15. Wrath of Kronos 1. Some followers of Kronos leaped out of the bushes. There were 16 Cerberuses, 9 Drakinas, and 6.5 Hydras. The half one was still reforming out of the dust of the earth. Alabaster acted with the lightning move. He stepped protectively in front of me, willing to take the wrath of the monsters. He was so hot. I almost pulled him to the side so he could finish making out. But there was a battle to be fought, and one for the destruction of the evil of Kronos. So I drew Agamemnon. I also drew my bow, and Telemelchus, which writhed in my hand like a living thing eager to taste the blood of monsters. Alabaster killed 6 Dracaenas and 2 of the Hydras in an instant with his green lioning magic. It lighted them up, and the green light shined around them, and their lives came out of their ears and eyes like the smoke of death, and I could see their bones like it was an X-ray. And then there were bodies crumbled into dust, and they sunk down in I know the dust, and they were instantly dead. Oh my word, that was quite a mouthful. Oh my god. But there was no time. I killed 5 more Dracaenas with arrows. Some in he head, boo, some right in the eyes, and some in the hearts. And then with one swipe of Telemachus, I killed all the Cerberuses, and then I threw Agamemnon. It buried up to the handle part in the ribs of a Hydra. With a scream of death, it fell off a cliff and did not return. I took Agamemnon and slashed up another Hydra. Its blood sprayed like when a hose is turned on all the way. It was acid and it was burning hot. It got all over the other Hydras and took the skin right off them, and they died. Okay, that's actually kind of metal, not gonna lie. Good job, Hannah. In pain, but they writhed first because they were in panny. In panny. I'll tell you what leaves me in a lot of panny. This story. Ivy and Nevo and the Hunteresses came out of the trees and looked at the carnage and death around us. You have fought like a true daughter of Artemaeus, said a huntress, but the slut next to her, it was a blonde one, said, shut the F up, bitch. You know she was over there alone with that hot guy. She was probably doing it with him. You know we should have him because we are better warriors. There is no time for fighting over insignificant, pedinous bitches, I growled. The dead and slain monsters you see are just the ones who were sent in the front of the rest of the army to count us and see how many of us there is. The rest of the army is on the way. To show that what I said was true and not a lie, there was crashing noises in the distance. It was the rest of the army. Ivy, who was a coward, turned to run, but a giant arrow that was shot out of a bow by a giant went right through her traitorous heart and stuck her to a tree. Jesus. But because she was a dryad, her life spirit melted with the tree, and she went back aught life and stat tread killing monsters with a kick from a tree. Will you keep it keep the VOD public? Yeah, I think I will. I will. Definitely. The monsters poured over us like a wave at the beach, except with no surfers. What? I was like a machine that would never be tired. I slayed and killed right and left and down. There was an Impusa that I killed. It saw that I was part Impusa and begged for mercy, but I slayed it anyway. Nevo and Alabaster were fighting. Excuse me. Nevo and Alabaster were flighting. Excuse me. Nevo and Alabaster were flighting valiantly. Not so much the hunteresses, but they did kill some monsters. But then the wave of monsters moved to the right side and to the other side, and it was Luke. I knew it was really Kornos, but my heart thought it was Luke. My lips remembered when I kissed him. Oh God. Luke, 23-year-old, kissed 14-year-old Flavia. Luke is a pervert. And I remembered once that I was in his army fighting on his side because I loved him. I was carried away by my memories, and I killed a couple of blonde hunteries. And then I remembered, no, it was not Luke. It was Kornos who was evil, and I must slay him. Oh my God. Here's another author's note by Hannah. Autocorrect is for the preps. This is my story, my dream, my life. So back off, bitches. Chapter 16. The Wrath of Kronos 2. Hate drove me like premium fuel, flew in the air like a bow shot from an arrow of Artemis. I crashed into Kronos. Our swords clashed with sparks of hate. I had a sword because I took it from a dead huntress. Kronos was wearing gold armor all made from gold, and he was no silver, so I knew this was not Luke, just his corpus that Kronos was living on. Before he died, Luke promised to wear silver every day when he was alive. Also, he wore a helmet that said Kronos, except in Greek scribbles, and it covered his face up. We circled to go in for the kill. The battle seized around us so they could watch. They were all eyes on us. Except a couple of monsters tried to sneak up and attack, but I eliminated them and they were killed. Kronos swung that thing you cut... Kronos swung that thing you cut grass with, except it's called a scythe. I looked it up, so it's true. The scythe cut through air, but now it was not to cut grass, but my neck. Wow. But I was too fast, so I moved from the way, and threw Agamemnon. It bounced off Kronos' forehead and ricocheted, so it buried in the throat of some other monsters. Fuck yourself, Kronos, I said wisely. Never, said Kronos, and he swung the scythe again. This time I leaped into the air and did a backflips. This time the scythe cut a monster in halves. Blood spurted and oozed from it, but it turned to dust, so no one had to wipe it up. Well, at least we know where the priorities are in this fanfiction. Wait, why are you using the scythe when you know the word of death? I asked him. I don't know it yet, but I soon will, and then I'll use it on you, and then tomorrow, the world. He laughed like Hitler after killing a Jew. Oh my god. I forgot about this. It's so funny because, like, there's already the Nazi controversy in the video with Haley. And then there's this line. He laughed like Hitler after killing a Jew. As if Adolf Hitler himself was personally there at the camps, pulling the levers and laughing at every single dead body that fell to the ground. He actually took the time to go to the camps and laugh at the people. Oh my god. That might be the most out-of-pocket simile I've ever seen. Yes, true. We getting demonetized with this one. Also, yes. Oh, dear lord. So, again, I'll say it again. Some things, like, there's just so much insanity in this story that I just forgot some of it. Like the feces thing, the Hitler after killing a Jew thing. Like, I forgot about it, honestly. Like, I would have included it, but there's just so much batshit in this story that when I was writing the script, I had to keep it, airtight. I couldn't, go off on tangents. I had to, just. Sorry. Hannah is in the Nuremberg files. True. Bro is making no money off this one. Yeah, that's really sad. But whatever. Alabaster said, "No, it's too dangerous. He'll kill you, Flavia." He rushed at Kronos, waving his hands, so he shot magic at the monsters, and then he shit magic right in Kronos' face. Alabaster just shits in Kronos' face. But it bounced off without damage. Laughed. "You will have to do better than that, loser." He hit him in the head with the scythe, but not with the sharp part because that would have cut him in halves. Instead, he hit him with the handle part, so Albaster was knocked out and could not move or help. He laid on the ground like a dead fish, the bastard. Dead fish. As I looked at him, I knew in my heart I had not really wanted to make out with him. It was just his powerful magic confussing my mind. He should not have interfered with my great and dark love for Nevo. Which chapter is this again? Chapter 16. My world was confussed, and Kornos knew this. He came out for the kill, but I was faster than him, so I whipped at his face with Telemelchus, and it cut the face part off his helmet. I prepared to stab him in the eye, but then I saw it was Luke's face, which I could not stab in the eye to kill. Kornos laughed in my face. I'm too hot for you to kill, right? And the sky turned into lightning, and he misted away to escape. Stop him, idiot, whined Ivy. Silence, I said. I knew that in my heart I could not kill Kronos as long as he was wearing Luke's corpus. Ugh. Oh, that one was hard. Hitler after... Oh, my God. That was... fucking nuts. The absolute gall, the unhinged, like... moxie of this person to write this line right here is unbelievable. Okay. Yeah, my head hurts too, the Kanga Wizard. I think we're going to go to chapter 20 and then stop for the night. We all good with that, folks? Can I get some consensus in the chat? Chapter 20 and then call it a night? Waiting for the chat to load. Yes, sure, you're, okay. Perfect. Okay. 1 second, folks. Okay, how many chapters are there? 72. Thanks for asking. Anyway. I'm already sick of this shit. Yeah, we'll stop at 20. You think I'd read the reviews. I'm gonna spell it like I want, okay? The spelling we use in this country was invented by the preps anyway. I'm a rebel like Flavia. I fight the system. So that's another explanation why she spells like shit. Because the way we spell words in this country was enacted by preps. And so spelling like an absolute goblin is her way of fighting back against the system. Anyway. Chapter 17. Gifts from the Gods. I stood there on the hill. I was mad from the huntress's angry eyebrows in my direction. That kind you go in not like one direction, ew. Oh, I get it now. Oh my god, that is a stupid fucking line. I went over and started to kick Albaster's wounded ass for him. You prep! I screamed like the tidal wave in a ladder with blue rain streaking across Olympus. But he made that noise like when you stick a sharp thing in a prep and twist it a little. I glared darkly at him. You shithole, why did you interfere? I loved you. I wanted to save you from Kornos. He whined like Justin Bieber. I crushed his hand with the heel from my spiky black knee-high Converse. No, you wanted to distract me so Kronos would escape. Also, you enchanted my heart with dark swirls from the pits of Hecate. Then lightning came down from the heavens. when the electric went from the air, 3 gods stood on the hill. They were Zeus, Aphrodite, and Apollo. Zeus was kinda hot for an old guy. I thought if we had kids, they would be like 3/4 god and all-powerful than Dane gods. 15 years old, by the way, imagining having sex with Zeus and having his children. 15, by the way. But Apollo was super hot. It was like all the hot guys in the world got melted until it was soft and poured in a statue, and that statue was Apollo. Wow. In the book, he's blonde, but in real life, he has black hair straight to his mid-back. Also stubbled, but not the messy, pokey kind. His eyes were deep like a hot tub, but a deep one like a jacuzzi. Aphrodite. Aphrodite was blonde and looked like Annabeth and Brittany and the other whores. I saw she was wearing makeup, like stupid pink lipstick like the color of flowers. I hate flowers. They're too kawaii. Good lord. We are impressed by your fighting in the noble battle blood, said Zeus wisely. He gave me a mini lightning bolt. It was silver and about 2 feet long. This has the force of maybe 20 bombs, said Zeus. You can use it only 3 times. Then it will melt in your hand, so drop it quick the last time, or your hand will be melted like molten silver. I'm really quick. It will not hurt me, I told him. I know you're capable. That's why I'm giving it to you and not that miserable loser, Alabaster, said Zeus. Apollo gave me a sheld. He said, this sheld is flame-proof. Get it? Wow. Because we're flamers. And no flames will hurt you when you carry it. It will destroy them all. Aphrodite said, here is a spell. When you say it, Kronos will die, and there will be peace. I don't want your stupid spell, bitch, I yelled. I knew she could not be trusted because she was a blonde whore. If I used the spell, it would probably strike me dead in my Converse. I knew all Aphrodites were evil sluts at heart. But she used her goddess magic and forced my hand open and infloated in a little scroll with a spell on it. She smiled triumphantly, the bitch. But when she was distracted by a hot guy walking by, I threw the scroll at her slutty face. She screamed in pain, and it was my turn to smile. Then the scroll disintegrated, and it was like smoke, and then was no more. We will see you on Alamus. When you are a hero, you can be a goddess too, said Zeus. But then he said, actually, only if you're a virgin. That's what Artemis said anyway. I'm not having kids with you, I yelled wrathfully because now I hated his guts. Before I could throw the lightning bolt at their faces, they all misted away like gauze because that's what they were. Wow. Aphrodite is supposed to look like whoever the viewer finds the most attractive. Flavia just admits that she thinks Annabeth and the sluts are the prettiest people she knows. Good catch, Lanago Misk. Good fucking catch. Methinks Hannah or Flavia, whoever, is projecting. Nick, have you ever heard of Sonic High School? Yes, that was recommended to me in the comment section of the Moondaughter video. So, I might be checking it out, because I read chapter 1 and I was like, holy fuck, this is amazing. Anyway. TV topes can't use my story without my permission, okay? They're thieves. She means tvtropes.org. Apparently, apparently it was around this time when the webpage for Moondaughter formed on TV Tropes. Chapter 18. My heart gets captured. The wisdom of Artmaeus let me know Kronos wouldn't attack for a while, so then I went to the Hunteresses and told them to stay so I could go and get a tat to symbolize the battle. One building was left in Knox City. It was a tattoo place, and there was a guy owning it. He was ugly and short. He was wearing a prep sweater. When he saw me, he flipped his hair sexily. Hey, chick. I kicked him into coconuts so he could never conceive. Ten, I killed him severely. What's the point of kicking him in the coconuts and then just killing him 2 seconds afterward? What's the point? No. Oh. I can't. I cannot right now. Ooh. But a new tattoo guy was there in the back of the store. He had sexy black hair with bangs and green eyes like a lime that melted in the dark of the midnight sun. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Percy Jackson. Percy? What the fuck? I said. I left Camp Half-Blood because Annabeth broke up with me, he explained with sadness swimming in his green eyes. She called me seaweed ass. There was no life left to live, and my world was dark and deep. Like your dad's ocean, I reminded, nodded in a way that made my heart blink. I abandoned the prep lifestyle. Now I think on the dark things. I could see he was wearing black eyeliner on his green eyes that flashed hotly. At first I was sad for him, but then I remembered he was my enemy, and enemies must be defeated. But first I had to get my tat, so I said to him, I want a tattoo. Sure, it's my hobby. I'm a great tat artist. He showed me some dead mortals' arms and legs with his tattoos. There were skulls and chains and dargons. OMG, I want a fucking crescent moon on my forehead, I declared. He put some tattoo stuff in needles and plunged them into my head, but I felt no pain. When he pulled Tem out, there was a moon on my head, and it glittered like silver, except it was on my skin, so it wasn't metal or anything. I gasseped. I gasseped because I was so beautiful. Percy stared at me. His heart almost jumped out through his manly chest in solid love. Flava, I love you, he said through his dark bangs of sadness and despair. I knew all of a sudden that he would fill the grinding void left in my soul by Alabaster's cheap betrayal. Suddenly Percy started to sing Anywhere by Evanescence. We marched together in silent but mutual room was dim because all the power went out from the electrics. I knew it was a sign from the gods symbolizing our deep love. In my heart, I remembered he was my enemy. I said, "Why did you kill Luke?" Percy looked down sadly and sexily. You loved him, so I was jealous. Wow. So the reason why Percy killed Luke wasn't to save Olympus. It was because he was jealous of Flavia. OMG, that's so heartwarming, I said. He loved me enough to kill. It was so hot. We started making out, but suddenly the lights from the electric went back on and Nico busted in through the door. Flavia, what have you done? Dun dun dun. All right, chapter 19. Chapter 19, folks, we're almost there. Chapter 19. Cursed. OMG, Nico, we were having a moment, I shouted at him. But you were moshing with another guy, you cheating cheater, he yelled. Well, I never said you were my BF. I said this because it was true, so I wasn't really cheating, because only sluts cheat. Wow. But my heart melted towards him. He was hot when angry. Nico looked at Percy, and a loathing dawned in his dark and smoking eyes. Flavia, this is Percy Jackson. He's your enemy. He killed Luke. But he did it for love, I explained. I followed my heart, agreed Percy, and my heart led me on a dark path. Nico stared at both of us. I could see his heart breaking. So, you love him back? I didn't know what to say. Everything was too confussing. The tat shot seems to spin around me like a merry-go-round on meth and speed. That's insane as well. How could I be expected to make such a chose? And I could feel the anger of Artemis from above. It was like a dark ray of light shining down on me from Olympus. I knew she wanted me to be a virgin like her, and then I would be a goddess and live forever. But what good is eternal life with no BF? Before I could express what was deep in my heart, Alabaster came in with some pathetic flowers that weren't even black or silver, and some gross chocolate shaped like a daisy. That is a very preppy flower, and I always step on them when I see them. Flava, I am trying to repair the harm done between us. Can you forgive? He asked hopefully. I was even more confused. I knew once again that Artemis had cursed me. Too many guys wanted me. Shut the fucking hell up, you bastards! I screamed. You're all sex crazed. I'm not an object, okay? I shoved Nevo and Alblaster into the wall and left the tat shop. The hunteresses and Ivy were outside. The bitches had spied on the whole thing. So, if you don't want Alblaster, can I have him? Said Ivy, who was at heart a slut. Who was at heart. Shut up, or I'll use the power of Artemis to turn you into an eternal virgin, I shouted at her and drew Agamemnon. She cringed back in fear. The other hunteresses cleared the ground before me. They knew my dark mood would mean much death if I unleashed. I walked into the forest holding the lightning bolt that Zeus... Listening to you read this with full concentration and seriousness, your voice is killing me, sorry. Thank you. I walked back into the forest holding the lightning bolt that Zeus gave me. I almost thought of using it on me, just so I could rejoin Luke in Elysium. When he was still alive, life was so simple. But then I thought, no, I had to be strong and fight Kornos to the death. I was resolved, so I put on some black eyeliner and some dark red lipstick that was the color of blood to remind me of my mission. I put on a silver tank top and a blav jacket that was made from leather with a sliver zipper and a sliver moon on the cuffs. I put on black skinny jeans with silver threads sewn through them and a pair of black Converse with dark red laces. My hair cut on the edges to make it a little more ragged. I was ready for my mission. Whew. Okay. Chapter 20. This is it, folks. The last chapter. And thank God it's a short one. Chapter 20. I go in the forest. I knew that I needed to practice for the battle, because practice makes I banished the confusement thoughts of love from my mind. The only thing in my mind now should be to kill and maim. So I took Drakina's doom, my bow, and Agamemnon and Telmelkis, but I saved the lightning bolt for an emergency. I went deep in the woods, but then I gasped from shock. Percy's mom was there, making out with Grover, and he was still dead. Oh no. Oh no. Sally, why? It was sick and wrong, and you should never do this, ever. OMG, Percy Mom, you sicko, I yelled. She laughed nervous. Don't tell anybody I'm off my meds, I can't. Oh my god. Oh, what meds is Sally Jackson taking to make her, make out with dead satyr corpses? Oh. Oh my god. Yeah, well, I won't tell if you make Percy fight with me against Kornos, I told her. And take your meds, bitch, or I will tell Poiston. You're cheating on him. I wanted to cleave her in two with Telemachus, but this was no time to think of the cleavage of mortals. What? It was the monsters who would be cleaved in the battle tomorrow. I shot 3 arrows all at once with my bow. They hit 3 trees all next to each other in a line. Suddenly, a tiger growled from the bushes. It jumped and attacked me. I stabbed its heart with Agamemnon. I then wept tears of silver fluid because it was beautiful in death. Also, tigers are my fave animals. So I made a pair of skinny jeans from its skin. Oh, it looked really cool because it was a white tiger, so it matched with my Converse. The tiger didn't hurt me. Actually, its claw scratched on my cheek, so now I had a sexy scar. It made me look dangerous and feral. Then I burned the corpse. Then I burned the corpus and looked for something to kill. But then I heard Korno's voice saying, "I'm coming in 1 hour." Oh. Oh my god. Well, I promise you guys I'll stop at 20. It is getting late. So, we are going to stop here at 20. Let me know, guys, if I were to pick this up, some other time, would you watch it? Let me know in the chat. Would you watch me if I just kept streaming these in little intervals, reading this book? I mean, I'm torn because on one hand I kind of feel like I have to finish it, but on the other hand, the jokes really overstayed its welcome after chapter 20, so there really is no need to read it. We already read all the insane lines. Well, a lot of people are saying yes in the chat, so I want to see her mosh to Simple Plan again. Maybe it was fun to talk with everyone. Well, I'm glad we're creating a community here. I need more alabaster shit magic. Oh my god, this is absolutely hilarious. I'm having a great time. Okay, overwhelming consensus seems to say that, yes, we should continue reading this. However, as for planning, not really sure, to be honest. Not sure when, because I have another video I want to get out next week. And then another video after that. And then I'm gone. Excuse me. I'm gone all of Labor Day week as well. So, we'll see. We'll see, though. You should also stream some other fics. Sonic High. I mean, I think I will add Sonic High School to the roster. So, we'll see about that. Maybe I'll try and time it with, when does Sonic 4 come out? Sonic 4. No. When does Sonic 4 come out? 2027? No, I'm not waiting that long. Yeah, so Loud House revamped. No, I have seen that. I have seen you people talking about Loud House revamped. 2 million words? Really? I don't even know what that show is. I know it's a show, but I don't know what Loud House is. Like, we'll see. I'll never say no to a suggestion. But anyway, I gotta go, folks. Hope you all have a good rest of your nights. Thank you all for staying up with me. We ended at 50 viewers. That's pretty good for my standards. Usually, that's like the high end of viewers I get for my live streams. So, that said, have a really good night, all of you. My last stream cut off early, so I'll give it about a minute before I sign out. So, take care. Yes, slam the like, exactly. Slam the like and subscribe, all that jazz. Take care. Whew. Damn.